Hey! How's it going? It's the Victor Wilt Show. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Let's rock and roll. All right. Let's see here. Well, I haven't fired up Facebook yet to see how many stupid messages are waiting. I started a bit of a conflict yesterday, intentionally. I knew it would aggravate people. There's a Facebook group called Radio Peeps, for radio people. And if you listened in the last 2 days, you may have heard me, I guess complaining about local stations promoting the Cody Jinks show, local country stations that don't support the artist. They don't play them. But they're glad to take free tickets to give away to their listeners because they think that's all that matters, I guess. Don't need to have any backbone and actually support the artists. So I complained about that a bit, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go into the Radio Peeps group and post, hey, I don't think you should give away tickets to shows for artists you don't support, let alone do things like show up at the show, do stage time, blah, blah, blah. Because a lot of radio stations do this. I see their posts. And they're like, hey, we're out here, check it out. I was on stage with blah, blah, blah. And you're like, I know your playlist. You don't play those bands. Why are you on stage? Why are you milking that band's crowd for, a little bit of free exposure if you don't support them? You're taking advantage of them. And boy, pretty much everybody disagreed with me. I was like, what's wrong with you people? They're like, it's all about exposure and money. I'm like, well, yeah, no wonder your stations aren't doing great. Listeners can spot when radio isn't being honest with them. Listeners notice all kinds of little things. And these guys think, no, listeners they're not going to ever notice if you give away tickets to a band you don't play, or if you show up at the show. If I showed up at a show, checking out one of my favorite bands, and I see a radio station get on stage and, talk to the crowd, pump them up, I'd be like, oh, wow. That radio station loves this band? That's awesome. And I'd go check out the radio station. And then when I noticed that they didn't play that band, I would never listen to them again. Yeah? Because they're clearly just piggybacking off of that band's success for a little bit of exposure. They don't actually care. So anyway, I might have a big pile of comments I need to respond to. I shouldn't waste my time with this. It's not like you're ever going to change anybody's mind on social media, but I don't mind beating up on radio a little bit. Because radio's pretty terrible, And I really think if all of these stations honed in on what their listeners are saying, did real research into figuring out what music they should be playing, but they all just copy each other. They look at the radio charts and just copy each other. I really think if they did real research, put more effort into what they actually did on air, connecting with listeners, and playing the right music, they'd all do better. But they're just lazy. They fire up the radio chart and go, all right, that looks good. Radio charts are useless. They're manufactured. It's dumb. One guy called me out. Was like, well, you just lost all credibility with me because you don't use Mediabase. Like, yeah, there's better tools, dude. Probably doesn't even know about the other tools. Anyway, there's my complaining for the morning out of the way. I got other plans for that group, though. I'm going to just start poking the bear, because there's just too many things about radio that are sleazy and gross, and they should be ashamed. They should be ashamed. So anyway, that's where I'm at this morning. Tired. Need to wake up. And I don't think I'm even going to look at Facebook because I ran out of my motivation for that yesterday. Let's talk about this upcoming AC/DC tour. I know that I've heard from Peaches that he's had a couple people asking him if he knew anywhere to get pre-sale tickets. These shows aren't coming anywhere close to here, but worth a road trip if you want to see one of the most legendary bands of all time. But tickets are not on sale yet, okay? I just want to remind everybody, if you Google for tickets, you're going to most likely be directed to a secondary ticket site like StubHub or Vivid Seats. These places are selling tickets right now, but for insanely inflated prices. I don't know what the actual tickets are going to cost at face value, but I guarantee they're not going to be $600 at the cheapest. So if you're thinking of going to this show, from what I've seen so far, there are no pre-sales happening. I did read in the AC/DC subreddit that some venues are doing pre-sales through the venue, or if you have a specific credit card, things like that. That wouldn't be happening till Thursday, according to people in the AC/DC subreddit. So, just be patient. Wait till the on sale. Buy direct through the band's website so you ensure you're getting the best price. I don't know if AC/DC is going to take part in that dynamic ticket pricing. Probably. But yeah, just, when you want to see one of your favorite bands, I know you can get that fear of missing out. And people panic and they'll, spend way too much money. We need to stop scalpers in their tracks. And the best way to do that is not buy tickets from secondary websites until like the day before or day of show, when the scalpers are actually losing money on their tickets. So anyway, good luck to you if you're planning on hitting up AC/DC on their tour next year. I hope you can snag tickets for a reasonable price. So it's kind of weird, the things that pop up on the video cameras at my house from time to time. I've seen some animals here and there. Generally it's neighborhood cats. That's the common one. But I have seen a raccoon pop up. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Live right in the middle of town. You don't just see them walking around, hanging out in the hood. So that's always been strange when a raccoon or something like that will pop up on the cameras. Well, last night, I'm just about to crash out and my phone buzzes and, it's the cameras going off. I'm like, well, the cats are in. Let's see which neighbor cat's out in the yard. So I fire up the camera and one raccoon comes walking by. And then another one. And then number 3. 3 raccoons. Just a little gang of them. Hanging out in my yard. Just roaming. Like, well, I'm glad the cats aren't outside. I would assume that, they would try to fight the raccoons. And I don't know, raccoon versus cat, they're big. Raccoons are big. And they got, hands. Doesn't seem like it'd be a very good fight. Even though my cat, Koopa, he's pretty tough. I don't know how he'd fare against 3 raccoons. Anyway, I uploaded the video to the K-Bear YouTube and Instagram. If you want to see critters, oh, look at them cute raccoons. You can go check it out. K-Bear 101 RMG on YouTube, K-Bear 101 RMG, or K-Bear 101 FM on Instagram. It's supposed to push it over to the Facebook page. But, Meta products, they don't always work how they're supposed to. So I don't know if it'll actually push it there. If you want to see it for sure, Instagram. And it's just a video of 3 raccoons just walking across my deck. It's not like earth-shattering, but I don't know. I thought it was neat. I'm like, look at that. Look at that. More animals to feed outside. Jeez. All right, I know they're the competition, but, everybody uses it for the most part. Let's talk about Spotify Wrapped. End of the year, each year, Spotify throws out your stats for listening from the past year. And mine's pretty funny. Because like I've mentioned on air before, I'll use Spotify if I need to quickly check out a bunch of different songs. I would use YouTube, but, you got to sit through all those ads, got to skip the ads and so on. Spotify, I can just fire them up, check them out. So when I'm looking up music for the various radio stations in the building, that affects my Spotify Wrapped. So it's always very strange, but the funniest thing is that the most played song of the year on my list was Dua Lipa, Illusion. Ahead of, Sleep Token, 9 Inch Nails. Let's see. Okay, let me go back here. It was showing me my top artists. Because we know the top song, Dua Lipa, Illusion, which it is a good song. I'll admit it. Okay, number 1 top artist, 9 Inch Nails. Then we got Sleep Token, Steven Wilson, Tool. All right, that looks pretty normal. All right. I did not expect Dua Lipa to be the song of the year, though. But like I said, it is a really good song. So I'll have to share some of my Spotify Wrapped stuff for a good laugh in the K-Bear group or something like that. But yeah, if you want to hear a good pop song, you can't go wrong with Dua Lipa, Illusion. It's great. It's a bop, as the kids say, or a banger. It's really good. Feel free to call in on this one, 208-535-1015. Question posed online. Who is the most famous person you've ever met? I sat and thought about this one for a bit. It would definitely have to be somebody in a band, System of a Down. I've met that entire band. That might be it. As far as the most famous people I've ever met. Members of System of a Down. What about Scott Stapp from Creed? Chad Kroeger from Nickelback? Creed and Nickelback, both pretty big bands. I guess I've met all of Nickelback. I've met a good portion of Creed. System of a Down, a little bit more popular, though. So I think System of a Down, if I had to pick one, I think they're the most famous. Haven't met Metallica. Haven't met AC/DC. Haven't met Tool. Who are some of the other, biggest bands out there? Modern bands. I've met some pretty big modern bands. Falling in Reverse. Papa Roach. Ice Nine Kills getting pretty big. Volbeat. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go post this question in the K-Bear group before Peaches steals it for his question of the day. Because I'm curious to know who you've met and what you thought. Here's one thing I can say. All of those people that I mentioned, very, very nice. Now, I met System of a Down when they weren't a big band. Met them when they were on their, first headlining tour. So, they were playing the Roach Motel in Pocatello, venue that held, 200 people. But Nickelback, Creed, I met them in the last few years. So, when a band is at that level, you never know what to expect. All very nice. I would hope System of a Down are still nice. But, I don't think I'll be bumping into them anytime soon. Anyway, there you go. There's my list of the most famous people that I've met. And feel free to answer the question on the Facebook group. Or in the Facebook group, I should say. JD was wanting to hear that one. AC/DC, if you want blood, you got it. What's up? It's Victor Wilt. Hello. Welcome to the program today. Morning. So in 2025, Nintendo will be launching the Switch 2. People pretty excited about this. To a degree. Nintendo does not have a very good track record with new systems. In the last number of systems, launching with enough availability for the average person to pick one up. I remember years ago complaining on air about the NES Classic system, the Super Nintendo Classic system. Did eventually get myself, I was going to say copies of that's not right. I got myself one of each, but that was long after the release. The Nintendo Switch was very hard to get at launch. So Nintendo's promising, hey, we're going to outsmart scalpers. We came up with this great idea. It's called ramping up production to meet demand. Yeah, they claim that they've learned from production mistakes of the past and should have more than enough units on shelves when they launch next year. Okay? I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, I don't plan on buying a Switch 2 right when they launch. I don't know. I don't really know much about that system, to be honest. I have a Switch, but haven't seen the big games that you're only going to be able to pick up on the Switch 2. And every video game system has problems at launch. PlayStation 5, I mean, it was like, 2 years before those were readily available? I think the Xbox Series X, I think it was hard to get when it launched, but I'm not really an Xbox guy, so I don't remember. But if Nintendo can pull it off, great. Fantastic. It would be nice if you were wanting to purchase an item if you could just go into the store and get it, you know? Wouldn't that be a good way for this company to make some money? Items on the shelves? Guess we'll wait and see. Freak News is powered by Grease Monkey, voted Idaho's best oil change. What's up? It's Victor Wilt. Let's party. Let's get into some dumb stuff. All right. I just found out like 2 seconds ago that my girlfriend's been listening to the show, and it's kind of embarrassing. And I don't know if she heard me talking about the Spotify Wrapped and my number one song of the year being Illusion by Dua Lipa. It is probably number one because of when I was doing music coding and things like that. I swear I only listened to it for fun a few times. It's a good song. All right. Let's talk about the movie Wicked and the horrible book that it's based on. Yeah, I didn't know Wicked, the play, was based on a book, but it's apparently based on Wicked, the life and times of the Wicked Witch of the West. And I guess this is a vile piece of material here. And there's a lot of very upset people out there because they re-released the book with the movie poster as the cover. And they want to let everybody know this is a book for adults only. Boy, I tell you, no better way to get kids to rush to Barnes & Noble and pick up a book than telling them, you can't read it. You can't read it. I know this is a very popular movie right now, but you can't read this. If there's one good thing to be said about these stupid book bans that are going on nationwide, it's that kids are going to rebel and think they're, being mischievous and being naughty by picking up a good book. So that's great. Back when I was a kid, it was, don't listen to those albums that have the parental advisory sticker on them. You can't listen to that. That's for adults only. What do you think every single album I bought as a teenager had on it? Yeah, the parental advisory sticker. If you told me as a young person, don't look or read or listen or watch this, immediately trying to figure out how I could get my hands on it. So, yeah. Thanks, parents. If you want your kids to stay away from them, what you do is you go, hey, you want to read this good book? I love this book. Then your kids are going to think it's not cool, and they're not going to want to do so. But you tell them, this is crazy. Anyway. If you try to bring too many items to the self-checkout at Target, the register might yell at you. This could be embarrassing. Who counts the items? When you see, all right, 10 items or less. You look at your basket or your cart and you're like, it looks close enough. You get up there. Apparently this woman, she was scanning her items and she had 11. It was a 10-item limit. And the machine was like, no, you've got too many items. I don't know if this happens at every Target. Because, yeah, they're claiming their systems don't do this. So they're calling her a liar. Did she post video of it? Huh. I mean, I'm not opposed to this kind of thing. There was one time I was at Smith's when it was still open, and I had just a cart with tons of cat food in it because the cat food had a coupon, each little packet that was like 50 cents off or something. I was like, all right, I'm going to get as many of these as I can. And I go to check out, and they only had one lane open, and it was the, express lane. So I'm like, where should I go? And they're like, yeah, just come through this line. Then they opened up a normal line, but a bunch of people with only a handful of items get behind me. And the cashier had to pull the coupons off of each individual pack of cat food. It took forever. Forever. I felt, so uncomfortable. And I explained, they told me to come to this line to the people behind me because I could tell the people behind me were mad. Look at this idiot. Doesn't know how to read 10 items or less. He's got like 50 items. Yeah, I wouldn't just do that intentionally. Let's see. There's a mother charging 200 euros per head for her Christmas Day roast, or those pounds. I don't know about the European currency. All right, cut me some slack. Anyway, yeah, she was called, what did they call her? Britain's most hated mum for charging each family member to show up at the Christmas dinner. Hey, stuff's expensive. And last year she charged 150 pounds. This year, 200 due to the, increased cost of food. Yeah, I don't know if America knows this, but inflation and the cost of goods and services, that's a problem the whole world's dealing with. Just in case you didn't know. It's not just here. That's why during the presidential campaign, when the candidates are like, yeah, we're going to lower prices. Are you? Really? You got the power to do that? Sure. Well, politicians manage to get people to vote for them. Somehow. You would think people would see through that kind of stuff at this point. There's enough information out there to where you can get a clear understanding of how the world works, but yeah. Anyway, it's a good way to, keep the house quiet on Christmas. Charge for the Christmas dinner. I guess I'm all for it. Holidays can be a bit of a headache. What's happening, Peaches?
Hey, I know yesterday you were talking about the radio stations out in the country, promoting concerts of bands that they don't ever play.
Yes, and going to shows, talking on stage. I created a bit of a crap storm in that Radio Peeps group.
You did. There was a few people that
I made some people mad.
They weren't even employed. I was looking at. Yeah. One guy, it was funny. I looked at one of the profiles. It just said divorced real big on the profile. That could have been an angle you could have used. How does it feel, buddy?
Well, I played nice. I didn't attack these guys.
You didn't personally attack anybody.
They were attacking me, but I didn't attack them.
They were accusing you of, there was one particular guy that was accusing you of berating Wes Styles, which Wes Styles, I would never see Victor or what's the word I'm looking for, berate somebody like that.
Yeah, and I know Wes Styles.
Besides me.
I was the one who mentioned Wes, because, the morning show host from his station chimed in and was like, hey, we had listeners calling all week for Baby Metal tickets. Why shouldn't we give them away if we don't play them? And I was like, well, why don't you just play them?
Yeah, play Baby Metal Electric Callboy. Oh, that's too heavy.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest songs of 2024.
No kidding.
And so then I pulled up the streaming in Des Moines, Iowa, looked at the most popular songs in their market, and I compared them to Laser's playlist. And all I said was, hey, Electric Callboy and Baby Metal in your market is out streaming, even this many months later. It's been out for a long time. It's still out streaming all but 3 songs on your list of currents. Currents are like new songs.
And it was funny. He had all this high praise about Wes Styles. I'm like, man, I wish I could have somebody talk about me like that.
Well, and he's like, Wes Styles won all of these awards, and it's like, okay, I've won a ton of awards too. I didn't say that to him. Like, dude, do you want me to take a picture of my piles of awards.
One's in the bathroom. I stare at it every time.
And yeah, Wes won some national awards. You know who was runner-up in the same categories with Wes at the same award ceremony? Me! Yeah, he won, but I was new at the time. It's a popularity contest.
Definitely.
Yeah, you got people in the industry voting on these things. He's been in the industry much longer than me. Knows a lot of people.
Right.
I'm not saying he's, bad or anything. He's a great programmer and a nice guy. Great dude.
Seems like a nice dude. I added him on Facebook. He welcomed me. That was about it.
Yeah, and I tagged him in one of my comments, but he never chimed in that I saw.
I'm sure he's probably wanting to stay out of all that.
Well, yeah, because, he, I'm sure, disagrees with my statements.
Uh-huh.
All I tried to do is make a couple song suggestions, but yeah, some of the idiots in there, like if I wanted to be mean like them, I could have gone to their profiles and be like, where do you work? What station do you run?
Yeah, one of them just said divorced, and that was it. That's the one I was talking about. There was no company, no station, nothing. I was wanting to listen to that guy's station, or if he was the on-air or on-air jock or whatever.
Me too. And, I would have pointed out to them, okay, number one, you aren't promoting your stations. You don't even list your stations on your personal profile.
Not at all.
So what are you doing to try to promote your radio station? Do you not have enough pride to put it in your jobs? Or, nobody knows what you do.
Maybe they're on the beach.
They could be on the beach. And people on the beach, in radio lingo, everybody, that's somebody who doesn't have a job currently. If you're on the beach, you're generally more angry at the industry than, the average person. Because you've probably recently been canned by iHeart or Cumulus, or, you were a while back and you're still just an angry person on the beach. But, yeah, like, some of the hostility I was seeing in there, I was very surprised by. For a pretty, tame statement I made.
I decided to reach out to our favorite page, Crappy Radio Jock, last night.
Okay.
Asking just a question for you, since it's a hot topic in the Radio Peeps group on Facebook. How do you feel about radio stations giving away tickets to bands they never ever play?
And what did he say, or she?
Just because they don't play the band doesn't mean they're listeners. Don't listen to them. I mean, it would make sense for a hip hop station to be giving away Garth Brooks tickets, but a hip hop station to be giving away tickets for a top 40 act. So what? I see nothing wrong with that. The way that the guy wrote it is throwing me off.
Yeah.
That's why I was having trouble there. I'm like, what is going on?
Well, one of the examples somebody gave was on their country station, they gave away tickets to Mariah Carey because their listeners want to go see her Christmas show.
Okay.
Because country music is, fairly religious at times, and there is a lot of country Christmas music.
There is.
To a small degree, I could see that making sense. But I would, if I was choosing the promotions for, like, the Hawk, I would not give away tickets to Mariah Carey. I just wouldn't. I don't think, because giveaways are the very last thing that people tune into radio for.
Yeah.
And so for the average person, if you're doing an on-air giveaway and it's not tied into the station, it's not on brand, they're going to tune out, I mean, because most people will tune out on a giveaway break, even if it's something that, fits the station, because they just don't care.
What's funny is that, we talked about this as a prime example of it. 100.3 The X promoting, saying 100.3 The X presents Meshuggah.
Yeah.
Never have they ever played any Meshuggah.
Maybe
or
on the Full
Corpse.
Metal Jackie show late at night? Maybe?
I don't think she even plays that. I listened to her show growing up. I remember hearing, Disturbed on that program.
Yeah. And, just to me, if you're going to say, we present blank, that's slapping your name on it, it should be artists you support.
Definitely.
Because you're just milking their, fame and milking their fan base for a little bit of exposure. It's like getting on stage at a show for a band you don't play. Their fans, you are getting access to their fans, and I think you should have to support the band to do that. And anybody in that crowd, if you're at a show and you see a band with a radio DJ on stage, you're one of your favorite bands, after the show, you're like, wow, I got to check out that radio station. Then if you tune in and you never hear that band, you're going to be like, screw these guys. I'm not listening to this station anymore.
Very good point.
Yeah,
that's a very, because I know a lot of people, not trying to call out the Salt Lake City K-Bear, but I did meet some people down in Salt Lake City at shows where I say, I work for K-Bear. They go, the one here, that one sucks. and they're like, oh, no, we're the one in Idaho that actually plays these artists. And sure enough, I converted them to listen to us.
Well, good. So, yeah, I mean, it seems like that post has kind of dwindled down. There's not a lot of activity going on.
You should share that article of Jamie Johnson yelling at those Nebraska DJs for trying to take stage time at his show.
Yeah, artists don't like it if you don't support them. Jamie Johnson's another country artist that's very popular, but most stations don't play him. So I don't blame him for saying that.
I think I was the only guy who booed at the Wage War show when the lead singer was all like, "Shout out to 100.3 The X, the future of rock." I went, boo.
Good morning, Jade Davis.
Howdy, Victor Wilt.
Victor Man.
Victor Man. Jeez. Your alter ego. Victor Man.
Shame. You don't see the phrase Victor Man pop up too much in the news, and that better not become a thing, all right? We don't need Victor Man to be the next Florida man.
As soon as I saw it.
Well, that article's crazy. You text me.
The Florida man in Idaho.
Yeah, let's see how we can work our way around this. This is a story out of, Victor, Idaho. Where'd it go? I had it open.
Maybe it's too crazy. They're like, we can't have that up there anymore. We can't even give any details on this, but...
Well, so you got this guy who, allegedly, you got to throw that in there, because, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. 18-year-old from Victor. Nothing happens in Victor. That's...
It did this time.
So this guy's out partying
or
with a bunch of...
allegedly happened this time.
Allegedly out partying with a bunch of teenagers. What, 4 of them? And so they all get hammered. And then about 2:20 a.m., Teton County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to an area near a field west of Victor. They saw a car that had driven off the road about 50 yards in the field, had significant front-end damage, had driven through a tree, yard, and fencing. And they say it was apparent the driver was speeding. I think if you end up 50 yards
and go
into
through
a field,
tree, a yard, and fencing,
you got to be going pretty fast.
What kind of tree?
It must have been more of a bush, right?
Okay.
So, they find all these hammered teenagers, and they're like, "Where's the driver?" And they don't know. So, it wasn't even his car. It was somebody else's car that he wrecked. The owner, allegedly,
according to
this article from East Idaho News, allegedly. This is the police report. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty. The owner of the car took the cops to the guy's house and found him with one of these teenagers, allegedly. We don't need to get into the details there, but facing life in prison, potentially. Jeez.
The lesson to take from this, don't do that type of dumb.
Yeah, none of it. None of the above. There's so many levels of dumb going on here. I'm sure it's boring being a teenager in Victor. That's a place for old people to live. You get your cabin.
Sounds pretty nice, actually.
No, it sounds great to someone my age.
Unless that was my field fence and tree.
Yeah, you want to keep your yard out there looking nice. Housing's very expensive, so landscaping's got to be pricey
like
too.
The guy off of Back to the Future. You ran over my tree!
All right, what else is going on around here? I know I had piles of tabs open of things to talk about. Getting sidetracked here. Jade giving me additional work. Jays. Okay. Imagine that you're old. You're living in a senior housing complex. Just trying to live out the end of your life. And then the people who run the place decide, hey, no more booze allowed. All right, listen. If there's anybody who should be able to kick back and enjoy a beverage, it's people who are, I don't want to be dark here, but, they're kind of on their way out. Let them have a drink. Yeah. No more drinks during bingo. Nothing. Okay, I guess you can have wine, beer, or cider. Yeah, no strong drink. No pounding down gin. And these old people are mad. They're very upset about this. I don't know. I guess it's time to move. But I just wanted to show my support for these old people. I think that they should, be able to live their last bit of life in whatever way, brings them a little bit of joy. Yes, drinking is unhealthy, but, come on, at that point, let them do what they want. It's not like they got to worry about getting up and going to work. They're retired. They're kicking back. Now, again, booze is not good. Can be very addictive, can be a struggle for many people, trust me. But, imagine you're 80 and somebody's like, no gin for you. I mean, gin's gross, but I don't know, whatever your beverage of choice is, none of that for you. That's why old people start screaming at the clouds. All right? Ice Nine Kills with Chavo, a work of art. Still need to check out Terrifier 3 one of these days, whenever it drops on streaming. All right, speaking of streaming, everybody talking about their Spotify Wrapped today. Well, I just found a new website, Spotify-Unwrapped.com. You can punch in how many minutes you spent listening to your favorite artists, and they will determine how much money was given to your favorite artists from what you pay each year for your Spotify subscription. So, if I recall correct, I think it said I listened to about 25,000 minutes. I don't know if that's right. I'd have to pull it back up and look. But let's say I listened to 25,000 minutes of music in the year. You pay about $140 for your annual subscription, and Spotify would have paid about $16.84 to my favorite artists. That's right. Yeah, your subscription. A lot of money going to Justin Bieber. Just so you know, Spotify pays artists garbage. The payouts are just terrible. You're not going to find any artist out there that's like, I love Spotify. I know it's convenient. I use it primarily for podcasts, but I do use it. I know there's a lot of things that we have to end up using in life that aren't 100% great, but yeah, $16.84 to my favorite artist. Fantastic. Just wanted to let you know, you want to support your favorite artist? Streaming them is not the way to do it. Buy their overpriced merch. I know, $40 t-shirts, that kind of sucks, but if you want to support a band, it's what you got to do. New from Poppy, Push Go, from her new album that I can't remember the name of off the top of my head right now, but I will say that it is really good. Really good. It could end up being my favorite album of the year. I don't know. There was a lot of good stuff that came out this year, but I have been listening to that quite a bit. I mean, I've been listening to a little bit more Acid Bath than anything, but Poppy's pretty high up there. I don't know. I'll have to look through all of the albums that came out in 2024 before I can really decide, all right, here's how it lays down. Pages.
What's up?
Just talking a little bit about potential best albums of the year. What do you got?
Nothing More, Carnal. If I want to go a little bit heavier, I'll go with Boundaries, Death is a Little More.
Boundaries is great.
I didn't know about them till this year.
Yeah, this year's when I found out about them too. I like the industrial mixed with the most brutal stuff ever. It's good stuff.
I want to ask the vocalist if he actually yells like that when he's in a fight. Or he's in some sort of argument.
I mean, you should. If you've got the ability, might as well scare that person.
Well, that's why I always ask every harsh metal vocalist, I'm like, hey, do you go on your PC and play online games, just scream at people in that voice?
Back in the day, I had some friends in Burley. They were really into playing Halo.
Okay, yeah.
And classic. So they'd play Halo online, and I would hold the headset in my hand, and as they would be running up to people from behind, I would just scream into the headset, and it drove people crazy. But it was lots of fun. A lot of fun.
Luckily, I was never really a squeaker. Most of my friends back when they were in middle school, they had the high-pitched voice, and they would, you hear the guys in the lobby going, "Squeaker, mute this kid."
Yeah, I was looking through some of the albums that came out this year. Have you checked out the new Opeth album?
I'm not that big of a fan.
You should check it out and just get your mind melted by prog. It is super prog.
I've been into this math rock band named Gigabowl.
I don't know if I've heard of them.
They're brand new. but they have some fun sounds to their music.
All right, I'll have to check them out. What else came out this year?
I mean, there was Knocked Loose, Blinding Faith.
Oh, that would definitely be pretty high up on my list. That's a really good album.
Bring Me the Horizon, Post-Human, Next Gen.
I like that album as well. That one was really good.
Did you like Wage War Stigma at all, or was that kind of forgettable?
It had a couple tracks on it I liked. Power Nerd by Devin Townsend was pretty good. It's a very straightforward Devin Townsend album. I like his crazier stuff, but it was still good. It was fun. Let's see. What else do we have here? Did not listen to the entire new Jerry Cantrell album, but what I've heard from that was pretty good. Let's see here. I know I'm forgetting about something just great that is for whatever reason not popping into my head here. Yeah, I don't know. Right now, Poppy's kind of leading the charge. I've really been digging that album.
There also was, well, that's last year. What am I doing here? I'm looking at this list, and I'm like, wait a minute. These all came out in 2023. Where's 2024? I'm trying to find the best. I was looking up the Nick Nocturnal Awards, the nominees, just to see if there was anything.
Yeah, I'm just kind of scrolling through the list of... Ancients. I forgot about their album. That was great.
They're a fun band. I do like their sound.
That one was really good. Yeah, it's going to take a while to go through all these, but Peaches and I'm sure we'll post our overall end of the year albums of the year list. So keep an eye on our socials for that. And if there's anything you think we need to check out, any album recommendations, because what's great about listening to full albums is, at least for me, I almost always find songs I like better than the big singles. You know, like my favorite songs from Nine Inch Nails and Tool and, all my favorite bands. They're not the songs you hear all the time.
Definitely.
And you're not going to find those unless you sit down, listen to an album start to finish. And I don't think as many people do that nowadays. Highly recommended. The new Queens of the Stone Age album. I forgot about that one. That was another really good one. I liked it.
See, for me, I just don't really care for that band. Them or Stone Temple Pilots.
I'm not big on STP, but I love Queens of the Stone Age. I think they're just excellent. So good.
I came across this album yesterday that's older, from 2019, from the band Emma Rosa.
Okay.
And it's called Peach Club. Like
Peach Club.
It popped up in my suggested feed. I'm like, this is a fun album. I like this.
It sounds like a terrible club.
A Peach Club.
Peach Club. Nope. You won't find me waiting in line at the Peach Club.
That's my new Subway sandwich, the Peach Club.
The Peach Club. And what comes on it? It's just bread and peaches.
Tuna, Chipotle, a bunch of good stuff.
Where did the show go today? I don't know. I hope it was okay. Hope it didn't suck too bad. I do my best. But I'm a little sleepy. Stupid CPAP machine coming disconnected in the middle of the night. That's the worst. Yeah. When you, without anything on your face, would be sleeping better than you would with the thing on your face that is supposed to help you. That's a bad way to roll into a Wednesday. But sort of halfway through. Almost halfway through. All right. A lot of things to look forward to in the next few weeks and in 2025. Got Squid Game Season 2 dropping toward the end of the month. Very excited for that. If you've never seen the original series Squid Game, watch it on Netflix. Watch it with the subtitles. Don't use that terrible dubbing. Just trust me on this, all right? Subtitles always the way to go if you're watching a foreign film. Aside from that, of course, Grand Theft Auto 6, still supposed to be dropping in 2025. When are they going to give us a new trailer? I would hope soon. It's been a year. Crazy how fast time goes by, but a year since the first trailer for GTA 6 dropped. Another show that's currently airing is the final season of Yellowstone. Now, I haven't watched any of the current season, but I'm not really seeing very good feedback from the fans in the Yellowstone subreddit. I don't know. I really personally feel like that show started off super strong and has just kind of went downhill since the beginning. It's still fun, still an enjoyable show, and still worth a watch, but I don't have a lot of hope for this show ending in a satisfactory way. You know, sadly, most shows don't end in a satisfactory way. But Yellowstone, with all the drama, I mean, I'm going to watch it. I'll probably wait until the entire thing is available so it can just be binged out. But, yeah, that's unfortunate. Hopefully Squid Game 2 will be really good. I don't really know where they go from the first season, but there have been other shows that managed to keep up a pretty good pace after the first season. So, I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic about that one. Anyway, I appreciate your support listening to this program today. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Peaches and I will be back at noon for the noon hour of Madness and Mayhem, powered by Jalisco's. And you just have yourself a great Wednesday. Hope it goes by nice and quick. Thank you again for tuning in to The Victor Welch Show. This program is a production of Riverbend Media Group. To contact the show or for more information, hit us up at riverbendmediagroup.com.